Hey everyone, it's Gerda here from Private Practice Success. I hope you're having a super duper amazing Friday. I'm just sitting here outside in my front yard because my kids are in the house because it's school holidays already here. So I thought I'll come and find myself a quiet little spot. So before we get stuck into today's live cross, what I want to do is just share this in one of my groups. Here we go. I'm going to share that in my group for private practice owners, because that means that more of them will see and hear this message. So I've just shared that, so we are good to go. I'm actually, as I said, in my front yard here, hiding away from the kids who can be very noisy at times, and now the cat has found me, so hopefully he's going to be quiet. He's sitting here at my feet. So I have lost count in terms of what it is in our daily vlogs. It's probably day 13 or 14. I will go and check after this. Once you've done a lot of days of vlogs, the one day just starts to go into the next. So the topic for today is coming out guns blazing. And the reason why I say that is because it's a bit of a ranty post. And because it's a bit of a ranty post, I do also expect that there's going to be a lot of people that's not going to agree with my opinion on this issue. And that is 100% fine. Okay, people have varying opinions on different things. Of course, the more important the issue, like religion and politics, the more passionate people get, and the more worked up and defensive and aggressive they get about their opinions, because it's really important to them. Hi Naomi, thanks for joining me. So I guess what I'm saying is that this could be potentially one of those topics. So if you do disagree with me, that's okay. I'm happy for you to comment below and let me know if that is the case. What I'm doing is just openly sharing my opinion on this issue based on my experience, and of course coming from my own set of values and beliefs on this topic. So I've warned you that I might upset you. So the whole, I guess, thing started for me, and as it always does, is when I'm speaking to other practice owners. And I've had a couple of conversations over the last couple of weeks, and I've been running a lot of workshops with private practice owners, especially group practice owners, some whom has been in private practice for a long time, others whom has been in private practice for a shorter amount of time. And a common thing clinicians and practice owners often, I guess, complain to me about, and I've been there, done that, is when they have a client that they are bulk billing. So there's a client that has started sessions and says that they can't afford to pay for their sessions, so they agree to bulk bill this client, and then 4 or 5 weeks later, the client's going on a cruise, or the client's going overseas on a holiday, or the client's just bought an $800 Labrador puppy, and then the clinician goes, geez, I feel, I guess, taken advantage of a bit, that this person felt that they couldn't pay for their sessions and they didn't want to invest money into their mental health, but they're happy to invest it on other types of expenses. And often clinicians will go, you know, I've never been on an overseas holiday, or I can't afford an $800 Labrador puppy, and I've trained for 6 years to become a qualified psychologist, and it just doesn't seem fair. There's a bit of that sense of injustice. And I'm sure if you're a clinician, 9 out of 10 of you would have gone through this before. Then I also have practice owners and clinicians come to me and say that, you know, when I started my private practice, I was really desperate for clients. So I've decided when I started that I'm going to offer bulk billing services, and, you know, it's worked really well because I was fully booked really quickly. And now I've come to realize that when you do bulk billing, with all your clients, it's like you're on a conveyor belt, because you can't work enough to earn enough money. It's just not enough money per hour that you earn to pay yourself and pay for your reception and pay for your room rental and pay for your registration every year, pay for your insurance, pay for your continuing professional development and all of that type of stuff. I mean, it's $84 for generally registered psychologists per hour, but that's not what we put in our pockets. You still need to pay all of those expenses out of that before you can even pay yourself. And people get to the point of burnout because they have to work so many hours in order to cover all their bills. And then they decide that I'm going to start charging a fee. And then they get a lot of backlash from clients. They get a lot of backlash from the doctors and GPs that refer to them, because now all of a sudden you want to start charging money when all of the time you've been bulk billing. And it's a really difficult process. That clinician will also struggle with a lot of guilt because they've developed a good rapport and engagement with a lot of clients, and they realize that a lot of clients just cannot afford to pay for their sessions. And it's a really catch-22 situation. And I'm sure there's some of you that's been through that, and those are the clinicians that come to me and go, Gerda, how do I navigate through this? How do I get that balance between charging a decent fee for my work that I do so that I can actually earn a living while still being there for people that really can't afford it? And it is a process, especially once you've set the scene that you're a bulk billing practice. It's really hard to change that perception, and you will have a backlash. However, and I guess this is the hard part, what I'm going to say now is that, it's really up to you as the clinician. As clinicians, as psychologists, occupational therapists, social workers, speech therapists, it's our job to lead by example and to model that we value mental health. So you can see I've got my Value Mental Health t-shirt on. We got these t-shirts for all our staff last year, October, during Mental Health Awareness Month. And this is what it's all about. You need to value mental health, and you cannot expect your clients or the community out there to value their mental health if you do not value the service that you provide. And it starts with us. We cannot be upset at our clients when we agree to bulk bill them. We can't be, even if they go on a cruise, if you've agreed to bulk bill someone, you cannot get upset with them. You need to take ownership of the decision that you've made. Yes, it feels shit, but you just need to deal with that, and you cannot hold it against the client. So you really need to think to yourself, where do I want to fit into the model of service provision in the public sector? Because we are in private practice. Because there will be a subsection of the community that just cannot afford to pay for their sessions. And those subsections of the community that has got severe mental health concerns will be treated through public mental health. But we all know how hard it is to get in there. I guess they're not perfect. I don't want to publicly criticize them, but they try their darndest, but they're not perfect, and they are always full. And somebody has to be really severely impaired in order to be taken onto their caseload. And then you've got a lot of NGOs doing work out there that has funding through government. There's a lot of funding programs. So we, even at my practice, the Psych Professionals, we provide a lot of funded services for people in the community that can't afford to pay for their mental health, such as ATAPs, for example. We do DVA work, we do work cover, we do VVCS. So we have decided, that we want to contribute. We want to help people that cannot afford to pay for their mental health services, but we're going to do that through those structured funding that is available out there. So we don't bulk bill at the practice unless in extreme circumstances, but we're not a bulk billing practice, and we choose not to do that, but we still contribute to the community through the funded services and providing services through that, and all our other clients that do not qualify for those funded services. And of course, each service will have its own requirements, whether that means that you need to have a DVA white or gold card, or you need a concession card, or whatever that means. And that really helps make it clear cut in terms of who qualifies for that funding. And it's not us that make those rules. That rules are made by the government, so we need to operate within that subset of operational guidelines. But all our other clients are what we call full fee paying clients, so they pay for the services because we value the service that we provide. We know that our clinicians have studied for 6 years at the minimum to be able to do what they do. We know the value there is in seeing a psychologist, and it's our job to teach and educate our local communities about the value. See, the clients that you already have in your practice, most of them have seen that already, or they won't be with you. So it's really about how do we get the word out there to other people in the community to really start valuing what we do as mental health professionals, and especially psychologists. You know, where I come from in South Africa, and yes, I know I'm not there anymore, and you know, I'm in Australia now, and I'm an Aussie citizen, and I've been here for 12 years. But I'm still just very passionate about this, and that is that in South Africa, psychologists are seen as specialists, which means that, you know, if it was comparable to in Australia, that our clients would get specialist rebates, which would make it so much easier for clients to be able to come in and see us and afford us. So here in Australia, of course, psychologists are part of the field of allied health, whereas in Australia, we're not allied health, we're psychologists. So it's very similar to what a psychiatrist would be here in Australia. And the thing is, you know, if Medicare and the government would actually acknowledge the level of training qualifications of psychologists in Australia, and you know, and I know it comes down to budget, and if they can put the rebate up to $200 bulk bill an hour, then we can bulk bill every client that walks through our doors. But it's just not up to scratch. It's just not there, and unfortunately, therefore, there's that out-of-pocket expense. So I guess my message to the psychologist, sorry, I'm looking down, I'm patting the cat as I'm talking. He's insisting on a pat. He bites my fingers if I don't. So I guess my message is that you need to decide when you go into private practice, or where you are in private practice, you know, where do you want to fit into the provision of mental health services in your local community? How much bulk billing do you want to do? And if you decide that you want to be a bulk billing practice, well, that's awesome. As a practice owner, I would just say you need to make sure that you look at your margins, because it's no use starting a bulk bill practice and in 6-12 months you need to close your doors because you can't pay your bills. You're not helping anyone when that happens. So you need to make sure that you can operate your practice and you can run it so that you can keep your doors open, or you can decide to not bulk bill at all, but provide other supported and funded sessions like ATAPs, where our clients at the Psych Professionals can come in for 12 sessions free of charge, completely free of charge, and that is specifically for people with financial constraints. So you need to open your eyes and really go researching and searching for what is those services that I can provide if I'm really passionate about servicing my community, or am I just going to charge out of pocket? But whatever decision you make, it's fine with me. You need to be fine with it, but take responsibility for that decision, take ownership of it, and then what you do, you go out and market that service that you want to provide. If you want to provide a boutique psychological service where you've got a highly niched service and you want to charge $240 per hour, which is still less than what the Australian Psychological Society suggests we charge, that's okay. You know, that's fine, because there is a space for each and every one of us. There's a space for each and every type of service that we can offer. But go into it having really given it thought, thinking of how does this sit with your values, your beliefs, what you want to do, the contribution you want to make to the community, and then you go out and you market your little butt off. Okay, whether you're marketing to get bulk clients, when you're marketing to get just mainstream client, bread and butter private practice work, or you're marketing to really sell a highly specialized niche boutique service, because you're going to be passionate then about what you're going to do, and the marketing is going to be so much easier. But wherever you fall on those choices, you need to do this. You need to value mental health, you need to value your service, and you need to communicate that value to your clients, to your community, to your referrers, to your colleagues, to your friends and family. It really starts with us as clinicians. We cannot complain if we're not modeling how we value mental health. And you market whatever it is that you decide, what sphere of the industry you decide to work in. You go and market and you get your clients that is a good fit for your practice, because there's clients out there for each and every one of us. So that is my little rant. I'm not sure if it was really a rant for today. I'm not a big ranter, but I do get very passionate about stuff. Yeah, so I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on what could be potentially a very sensitive topic. Also, you know, if the marketing is a part that you need help with, if you go, you know, I know what service I want to provide, I know where I want to position myself, you know, amongst all of these options that you've discussed, Gerda, but I really need some help with the marketing, I would highly recommend that you consider doing my 5 days to marketing magic short course that I've just launched. It is a online program. Basically what happens is you get an email with a video content each day from me for 5 days, with very specific strategies that you can use in your marketing. And then you also get a 6 extra bonus video. So basically you can get it all done and dusted in 5 to 6 days, but again, you'll have the content and you can revisit it at any time in the future. And it's only $47 plus GST. Okay, very, very really cheapskate little program, but I really wanted to offer something that's accessible to each and every clinician out there, that you can really get a lot of content and strategies for a fraction of the price really that I should be charging. So if you're interested in that, I'll put the link at the bottom or in the comment section probably. Alrighty, that's all for me from today. Remember guys, all you need to do is say yes to your very own ultimate private practice, and I'll speak to you all again tomorrow. Bye.